Hey guys, welcome back to the Destinations channel. I'm Sal Pitera, and today we're going to talk about all-inclusive cruising. I mean, it is all-inclusive, right? Maybe 20 years ago, but not so much today. And we're going to talk about the things that you're going to pay extra for on your next cruise when I come back right after this. Welcome back, guys, and thanks for staying through the intro. As always, if you're new to our channel, please hit the like button and the subscribe button. That way YouTube will let you know every time we upload a brand new video. Also, we're getting really close to giving away that free Carnival cruise to one lucky subscriber. So right now, make sure you hit that subscribe button and you're automatically included for a possibility to win. So when Ted Arison started the largest cruise line in the world and really made cruising popular with Carnival Cruise Line, his dream was to have a vacation on the seas that was all-inclusive. You pay one fare, and for that time you're on board the ship, everything from your entertainment to your food was included. And boy, was he right. Today, using that theory, Carnival Corporation, which owns Carnival Cruise Lines, Princess, and other lines, has an average of about 100 ships sailing the seven seas, and they're almost always sold out. But it's changed. It's not really all-inclusive anymore. Now, don't get me wrong, you could board a Carnival ship or really any other ship from any other company out there and not spend a penny on board and know that you're still going to have a fantastic time. Most of your entertainment's going to be included, most of your food, including the Lido deck and the main dining room, which is a 4-star sit-down meal, are all going to be included. So if you don't want to do those extra frills, which I'm going to talk about in a second, you'll still have a great time. But if you want to enhance your vacation, the cruise lines have added all kinds of new features that are going to cost you more. And we're going to talk about them right now. Number one is port charges and taxes. Now, if you're an experienced cruiser, you already know about this, but if you're not, you're going to look through a lot of websites that are going to tell you an average cruise rate per person, including Carnival's website themselves. Keep in mind that's not going to include your port charges and taxes. Every port that you go to is going to charge a fee, and then there's taxes on the cruise in general. They can make up to about 1/3 of what you're paying for the cruise fare, which is what they're initially listing as the average cruise per person. So always make sure you look at the final cost of the cruise before you hit that checkout button. Number two, and this is a big one, is travel insurance. Lots of cruise lines have penalties if you cancel that cruise up to about 30 days prior to the cruise. And it doesn't make a difference if you have a valid reason, if you have cancer, you get sick, a death in the family, loss of work. It makes no difference. If you don't have cruise insurance, you're not going to get a refund. Also, you could get sick on board, and insurance is going to cover things like medical expenses, or the big one, if you have a serious illness, getting medevaced off the ship, which can cost almost $100,000 in some locations. Cruise insurance is going to protect you, but it's not included in the price of your ticket. Number three is your gratuities to the crew members on board that are serving you during the entire week of your vacation. Keep in mind about 80% of their paychecks come from your gratuities. So while you can remove them at the end of the cruise if you want, I strongly recommend not doing that. There is a prepaid gratuity that is automatically added to your sign and sail account or your onboard account if you're on another cruise line other than Carnival. Carnival's is $14.50 per day for normal cabins or $16.50 per day, and that is per person if you're in a suite. Again, they will automatically add that to your bill before you leave the ship, or you can pre-purchase them before you ever get on the cruise lines through your cruise line website. Number four, and this is exclusive to Carnival Cruise Lines, is the Faster to the Fun package. Years back, Carnival instituted a loyalty package for people who traveled on Carnival Cruise Lines often. They call it the VIFP, or Very Important Fun Person. Some of those perks, especially the Diamond and Platinum level, included getting onto the ship earlier than guests who did not have those levels of VIFP. It also included things like a dedicated line at guest services, so you don't have to wait in line quite as long if you need to speak to somebody on board the ship, and a few other fun perks as well. Well, About 5 years ago, Carnival started offering those perks to people who hadn't obtained that loyalty level yet, and they call it the Faster to the Fun package. You can purchase that package additionally in advance from the cruise line on their website, and by the way, they do sell out quickly, from $39 all the way up to $69 depending on the port of call your ship is leaving from. Again, that sells out very quickly, so if you want Faster to the Fun, I suggest you get it as soon as you book your ship. Number 5. Number 5 is soda pop and alcoholic beverages. There's very few cruise lines that do offer them included in your price, but most major cruise lines, they are additional. So you're going to pay for any carbonated beverage on board, you're going to pay for all of your alcoholic drinks on board, and even some fruit juices if you get them from the bar. Now, a lot of cruise lines like Carnival do offer an alcohol package where you can buy a specific amount of drinks. Carnival's is 15 per day in advance on their website. I suggest you take a look at that if you're a big drinker. If not, you might want to just wait to get on board. Drinks on board Carnival, for example, average between $10 and $15 per drink. Number 6. Number 6, as I said in number 5, is some of your non-carbonated beverages are also not going to be included. Now, normally if you go to the Lido deck, you're going to find water from the ship, tap water, which is actually very, very clean reverse osmosis water. You'll find iced teas, fruit drinks like apple juice and orange juice, coffee, all free up on the Lido deck on almost every cruise ship you'll find leaving out from the United States. But if you go to the bar and you want fruit drinks there, or you want a Gatorade, or if you go to buy a coffee from the coffee bar or a milkshake, those aren't going to be included. Now, a little caveat to that, if you buy the alcohol package on board Carnival, which is the Carnival's Cheers package, a lot of those things become included, like your bottled water, your fruit drinks, your specialty coffee, milkshakes, pretty much anything you can drink on board, with the exception of bottled water you're bringing off the ship. Number 7. Number 7 is bottled water. Now, if you ask my opinion, you don't really need bottled water. The ship actually produces its own clean water, and it's done through a reverse osmosis, so it is very, very clean water and tastes very good, and you can get them from the taps in the Lido deck pretty much anywhere, or ask at any bar for a glass of water. But if you want bottled water, there is going to be a charge for it unless you have that Cheers package. Or if you're leaving the ships, a lot of time they will sell larger bottles of water. Those aren't included as well. Regardless of the package you have, you'll have to pay for those additional. Number 8. Number 8, and this one's kind of an obvious one, is your shopping on board the cruise ship. All cruise ships have shops where you can purchase items tax and duty free, which means you're not going to pay the taxes that you would here in the United States. But any shopping you do on board, t-shirts, jewelry, pretty much anything you buy in those shops are not going to be included in the price of your cruise fare. Number 9. Number 9, and this one's pretty obvious as well, is your casinos and bingo on board the cruise ship. Almost all cruise ships have lavish casinos where you can spend your money and hopefully win that big jackpot. And pretty much all the shows you go to on board cruise ships, they always do bingo for prizes. Those are not included in the price of your trip. It's going to cost you additional. And those are probably the only things on the ship where you're actually going to want to have cash for as well. Number 10. Number 10 is going to be something that really started enhancing over the last 10 years, and that is your specialty restaurants on board. Now, included in your cruise fare is going to be all the food on the Lido buffet, and there is a lot. Ice cream, and your main dining room restaurants was a 4-star seated restaurant, usually open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And they're fantastic. But restaurants have started appearing that are on board cruise ships that are now not included, such as Johnny Rockets on Royal Caribbean, or the specialty sushi restaurants on board Carnival, and other restaurants on the bigger ships such as Emeril Lagasse's restaurant and Rudy's Sea Grill. All of these aren't going to be included in the price of your fare for a more even upscale dining experience. And almost all cruise ships now have a specialty steakhouse as well. They're usually not really expensive to go to these restaurants, but there is an upcharge and it's not included in your cruise fare. Number 11. Number 11, and this one's exclusive to Carnival right now, is excessive food in the main dining room. One of the staples on board Carnival is you've always been able to try multiple meals in the main dining room and try things like alligator and escargot and things that you've never had. And that's great. But now Carnival recently put into a rule that you can only get 2 of those for free. Any dishes you have after that are going to cost you $5 additional. Number 12. Number 12 are shore excursions. Now, when you arrive in port, you're almost always welcome to just walk off the ship and explore on your own. But shore excursions are something that the cruise lines offer, which are guided tours and activities that you do out in your ports of call. You do them with a lot of other people on board the cruise ship. The cruise lines sell them themselves right on board the cruise ship. Now, what you need to understand when you buy a shore excursion on the cruise ship is you are going to pay more for that shore excursion than you are if you were to book the excursion yourself on the internet prior to going on your cruise, or there's usually people out in the port also selling those excursions. Yes, the cruise ship is going to cost more than if you do that because the cruise line does get a cut. That's how they make money on board the cruise ship. But there's a real big benefit to paying that slightly additional fee from the cruise line is that, God forbid, if something were to happen while you're out on a shore excursion, let's say the car you're in has a flat tire and breaks down, whatever, and you're late getting back to your ship, unless you bought that excursion directly from the cruise line, the cruise ship is not obligated to wait for you, and you might find that you're in a position to have to find your way back home or to your next port of call at your own expense. Now, I do have a video on what happens if that happens. I'll link that above in the card so you can take a look at that. But I strongly recommend buying your shore excursion from the cruise line. As I said, it does cost more. And I know I'm going to get comments of people saying, I never book through the cruise lines and I've never had a problem. And I'm here to tell you that while you've never had a problem yet, it only takes once. And I've met many people who have had that problem. So take my advice, buy your shore excursion directly from the cruise line. I promise you won't regret it in the long run. Number 13. Number 13, and this is also Carnival exclusive, is that if you're purchasing pizza on board, pizza is free on board the cruise ship if you go to the pizzeria during their open hours up till 4 a.m. But you can now have pizza delivered anywhere on the ship or to your stateroom, but that's going to cost you $6 extra per pizza. Number 14. Number 14, and this is also a Carnival exclusive, is your room service. For many, many years, Carnival Cruise Lines had 24-hour free room service. Well, after a while, they started adding some paid items to that menu. Then they started cutting back the hours and more paid stuff to that menu. And just recently, it is now pretty much all paid items. There is a continental breakfast in the morning up until 10 a.m. that you can get some of your items for free. But after that, all of your room service menus are a la carte, and you will be paying if you want room service in your cabin. Number 15. Number 15, and another Carnival exclusive, and also exclusive to the Mardi Gras and Carnival celebration. The first roller coaster at sea, Bolt Rollercoaster, was a huge undertaking and a massive marketing ploy for Carnival, and people really seemed to love it. However, Carnival didn't say until they actually started receiving guests that there is a fee to ride Bolt Rollercoaster, and it is $15 per person per ride. You do get to go around the track twice, but it's not free like most of the other Lido activities on board all of the other cruise ships in the Carnival fleet. Number 16. And number 16, and honestly, I don't even know what to say about this one. I think this one probably should still be free. Carnival has a seaside theater where they show movies out on the Lido deck on the Jumbotron TV almost every night of your sailing. Popcorn used to always be free. You would just simply go to the bar and grab a bag of popcorn. It's not any longer. They keep changing the price between $3 and $5 depending on what ship you're on. I don't get it. And even if you call Carnival right now, their hold music still says a year and a half later after they changed the policy that they have free popcorn up on the Lido deck during the seaside theater. So those are the things that the cruise lines, mostly Carnival, are now charging for that mostly used to be free at the golden age of cruising. My personal experience is that Carnival doesn't really care about the people who remember the golden age. They will tend to get over it. They're more focusing on the people who they can attract now and have those people cruise over and over again who don't remember the things that Carnival used to offer for free. So if some of those long-term cruisers drop out, they will replace them with new people who are willing to pay because they don't remember those things being free in the past. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. I really do read your comments. I don't have time to respond to them all, but I do go through them every day and read the comments on my new videos. I really want to know what you think in the comments. Once again, please make sure you subscribe to our channel. We'll be giving away that free cruise soon. And hit the like button and share us on your social media. Thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. We're humbled that you watch our videos. And remember, happiness always comes in waves.